Today, I'm going to explain about hybridization and intermolecular forces. Yesterday, we already learned about electronegativity. Let me revise a bit of electronegativity. Electronegativity is the ability of an atom to gain electron. So, from the trend of electronegativity in the periodic table, from left to the right increases, from top to the bottom in the periodic table along down the group, it is decreasing. Why decreasing? Because the outermost electron will have greater shielding and less nuclear charge. Less nuclear charge means the attraction between the proton and the outermost electron decreases. Shielding means the inner electron, the inertial of electron prevents the outermost shell of electron to feel the attraction. So the electronegativity down the group decreases. Then across the period increases because across the group, across the period, the number of electron increases in a shell. In an electron, in an outermost shell of electron, the number of electron increases. That makes the shielding across the period to be the same, but the nuclear charge increases because the number of protons more and the number of electrons also more. So there is more attraction. Okay, next. Now this is about hybridization, hybridized and intermolecular forces. Hybridization we already learned in chapter 2, SPDF, electronic configuration, sublevel subshell electronic configuration. So unhybridized is like this one. This is a 2px orbital. This is an s orbital. Why px? We know that in p orbital there are three: px, py, and pz. This is an s orbital, and then when they make bond, there is an overlap. Why overlap? Because they are showing that they are sharing electrons, and then that gives like this. The shape is almost same, which is not what we want, and also not they behave. And then this one, when hybridized, an sp3 hybridized orbital. So the p here ready, the px is ready to make the overlap with an s orbital, and then there is an s orbital make an overlap. This is a better overlap. Why? Because the p has higher energy than the s. So the p shape is bigger, the lobe is bigger than the s orbital, and then this one that gives the s goes inside sp3 orbital, and then from here we can see that this one, the sp3 is distorted. The shape is getting bigger and being oval. Next, in hybridization there are three. One, sp3, second sp2, and the last is sp. sp3 occurs with a single bond. This is the ground state of carbon. Ground state is the standard, based on the energy level that we do the electronic configuration. So the electronic configuration of carbon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. There are 6 electrons in the carbon. So the outermost contain 4 electrons. and then this one is 2p2. Okay, in order to hybridize, there is an energy, electron. Electron contains energy. When there is an electron from other element, this carbon will be excited in excited state. Excited state, so it is called as hybridized. Hybridized become sp3. There are 3 px, py, pz. sp3. Okay, and then sp2. sp2 occurs in double bond. This is a ground state. Okay, ground state of carbon. And then when this one excited of carbon, 2, it is in sp3. Okay, and then how about in double bond? In double bond, there is a sigma bond and there is a pi bond. Pi bond occurs when there is an overlap of p orbital. This one, this is the sp2. Okay, so this is the sp2 here. sp2 ds with p2. Okay, so there are two, and then this one, this p orbital will overlap with another p orbital of another element. That is forming the second bond, or called as the double bond. Next, sp hybridization. sp hybridization occurs with triple bond. This is, I mention again, the ground state of carbon. And then the electronic configuration of the excited state. This is sp3. And then what happens with the triple bond? The first bond is always a sigma bond. The second and the third are pi bonds. What are those pi bonds? This one. The two unhybridized orbitals. This one is sp. No wonder in triple bond, there like carbon triple bond only can occupied by one hydrogen. The other bonds, the other three, occupied with electrons from the other carbon in carbon-carbon triple bond. Okay, so this one in the so let me summarize for the sp3, sp2 and sp. sp3 occurs with single bond, single covalent bond is always sp3. Double covalent bond is sp2. Triple covalent bond is sp. Now about ethene and ethyl. We know ethene contains double bond, and then ethyl contains triple bond. As I said before, triple bond sp hybridization, double bond sp2 hybridization. Okay, what is happening during hybridization? There is an excited state of electron. The atom in the orbitals get excited, so it is make its own arrangement to make itself ready to receive electron from other atom. Now, the localized pi bond. It is with the structure of benzene. Benzene having the structure of three double bonds, not triple bond, three double bonds. So double bond is located over here, here, and here. Because in this structure, scientists have difficulty to name which one is carbon atom number 1, because it is in the form of ring, so difficult to determine which one carbon atom number 1. Carbon atom number 1 can start from anywhere of the carbon atom, but there are 6 carbon atoms form a ring. Because it forms a ring, so the structure can be made into like this. Okay, and then also this is called as the skeletal formula of the benzene. There are 3 double bonds. Because double bond can rotate in any position, that's why it is in the form of ring. And then the shape, this one is planar. So look at this one. This is the double bond. This is double bond. This is double bond, which is the same as this one. Is there any difference? Any difference of the number of carbon atom and difference in number of hydrogen atoms? Of course not. They are the same. How to determine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 1 can start from anywhere. That's why the double bond can place in any position within the structure. This is what it means by the localized. The double bond can move around. We draw like this. This is a ring structure on top and ring structure below. It does not mean there are 3 double bond. There are triple bond. No, it is this ring represent the overlap of p orbitals, because the p orbitals can move around the structure. That's why we draw it like this ring. It can move anywhere. Now the carboxylate ion, similar to benzene. Benzene is having in ring structure. In this carboxylate, we know that it contains C double bond O and then C and then O, and then this O, because O are oxygen is an electronegative element. So this electronegative element we know from the presence of the lone pairs here, lone pairs. So this one here forming, you see the dotted line. This is represents the overlapping of the p orbitals, and then with this one is overlap of the s orbital. So in here, this one, the blue one, must be 1 oxygen, 1 single bond, and this one, the green one, this one double bond. Why? Because the lone pair over here is only 1. And then with the double bond, with although double bond or single bond, they have 2. Okay, so this one 2. Why? Because although single bond, there is a connected to hydrogen atom, and then so the electronegativity can rotate. That means that makes the shape is like this. So the pi bond can rotate within this shape only. So because the pi bond can rotate, so we make into this ring, into half ring structure. Okay, so the O can goes to C, C2 goes to O, and then O goes to C, then C goes to O again. Okay, so the pi bond. Next, this is the what it means. The electron can go here, and then this electron taken. See the double bond, single bond. It's not obvious which one is double bond, which one is single bond. Is the double bond on top, single bond below, or the other way around? It is the same. There must be single bond and double bond. The portion of double bond and single bond can be up and down, down and up. That makes this one in form of a dotted line, the connectivity. Next. Now about intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces are attractive forces between molecules. There are two terms, intermolecular forces and intramolecular forces. Intramolecular forces between the atoms. Intermolecular forces is between molecules. Intramolecular forces, we learned there are four: covalent, ionic, dative covalent, and metallic bonding. Dative covalent is in between covalent and ionic. It is not purely covalent, it is not purely ionic. It is dative covalent bonding, and there is a metallic bonding. So this is the description of the diagram of intermolecular forces and intramolecular. Intermolecular, between molecule, this is one molecule of HCl. One molecule of HCl. This one, intramolecular, is the attractive force between the atoms, hydrogen and chlorine. Intramolecular. Okay, so do not make mistake in understanding about intermolecular and intramolecular. And then types of intermolecular forces. There are three: instantaneous dipole forces, permanent dipole forces, and hydrogen bonding. These instantaneous dipole forces and permanent dipole forces, they can be called as van der Waals. Instantaneous dipole forces occurs with covalent bonding. It has simple molecular structure because it has low melting and boiling point. If it has low melting and boiling point, it is not attracted to the polar, cannot dissolve in polar. So it is most likely to be non-polar. It has simple molecular structure, and then it as if it has a magnetic moment. So sometimes it can be attracted, sometimes it not. Depends on the electrons and shape of molecule. What does it mean? If more electrons, then the instantaneous dipole increases. If instantaneous dipole increases, the boiling and melting point increase. Also similar to the shape of molecule, there is an area of close contact between in the molecule that effect to the instantaneous dipole forces of the molecule. And then permanent dipole forces. Permanent dipole forces is we know already dipole. Yesterday I told you already about dipole. Dipole is the end of a molecule. There is one end and the other end. Now permanent dipole, we know that an element can be classified as electronegative, can be classified as electropositive. This one in HCl is electropositive. Why? Because it has tendency to lose electron. The Cl has tendency to gain electron. That's why it is negative dipole. And then this one will make a permanent dipole. Permanent means there is a electronegativity difference in the structure. So this one HCl has electronegativity difference. So that makes the Cl attract to the H of the other HCl molecule. So the attraction is connected. That makes the boiling point of permanent dipole forces higher than instantaneous dipole forces. The object of the dipole force, instantaneous dipole forces, the example is iodine, and then also chlorine gas, chlorine with chlorine, fluorine with fluorine. They have no electronegativity. No, they do not have electronegativity difference. So they are instantaneous dipole. They have low melting and boiling point. Okay, and then the last of the intermolecular forces is hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding is the easiest. Why? Because it is the strongest intermolecular forces. Hydrogen bonded to nitrogen, fluorine, and oxygen. Example: nitrogen gas. Example ammonia gas. Ammonia is having a hydrogen bonding intermolecular forces. It is polar. It can dissolve in water. Fluorine, HF, hydrogen fluoride. It is also hydrogen bonding. It dissolves in water. The last is oxygen. When hydrogen bonded to oxygen, it is water itself. So water is polar. Why water is polar? Because it has hydrogen bonding. Polar can dissolve in polar, non-polar can dissolve in non-polar, non-polar cannot dissolve in polar, polar cannot dissolve in non-polar. Okay, so today we are studying about intermolecular forces and also hybridization.